Hey, this is Russ. Yeah, I got another bike to show you guys. Let me show you this one. This one's a little different. This is the Himiway Rambler. What in the world is a Himiway Rambler? Let me show you the badging here first. A little backwards there, but Himiway Rambler. Well, this one's a little different. Now, for years, you guys have been asking me to try out a mid-drive bike. This particular version of the Rambler is the mid-drive version. Now, let me tell you real quickly. There's 3 different versions of the Rambler, all right? There's a basic version, an upgraded version, and a premium version. This is the premium version of the Rambler. Now, when Himiway asked me to consider the Rambler, my immediate thing was, you have to give me the premium version. I said, if you give me any of the other ones, I'm not interested. And here's why. Because I know for years you guys have been asking me to try out a mid-drive. Well, no other company has ever offered me a mid-drive, except for Himiway. Thank you, Himiway. So yeah, this has a Bafang motor on here. Let me show you down here. It has a 500 watt Bafang motor right down there. That's where the mid-drive sits. So this is not a gear hubbed motor. Okay, there's no motor back here if you notice. Everything runs off of this chain, all right? Now it does have gears. That is the newest version of the Shimano Altus derailleur there. And of course, we have trigger shifters. Yep, trigger shifters. We got 9 gears on here. Now this is the stock model, except I did add a few odds and ends to it, okay? I did ask Himiway to give me a front basket. And the reason is because I kind of feel that, you know, if this is a commuter style bike, you're probably gonna want a front basket, right? You're gonna carry things. It does come with the rear rack already. It has a very big headlight on there. Yeah, kind of nice. I added a few things myself too. I added a cell phone mount right here, and I added a side view mirror as I usually do. This comes with a thumb throttle on the left hand side, and there's controls for your pedal assist. Now the display, if you take a look at this, is fairly basic. Yeah, it's a basic Bafang display. Now as you get the other models, you're going to have a different display, but this one being the mid-drive model has to use the display that Bafang supplies. It is a very basic display, I will tell you that, okay? However, you need it in order to control that mid-drive. So let me tell you real quickly a little bit about the bike and prices, okay? As I mentioned, that there are 3 different types of bikes from them. There's the basic, the upgraded, and the premium. The basic is it's a basic version of the Rambler. So you'll have mechanical disc brakes, you'll have a rear hub motor on there, 500 watt motor. But as you move up to the upgraded version, oh, and that price too is $13.99. This is the retail prices. They have sales going on right now for about $100 off of each of these different ones, as I mentioned. But I'm going to tell you what the suggested retail price is. So it's $13.99, currently $12.99 for that. If you go to the upgraded version, all right, what you get is hydraulic brakes. If you go there, it's $15.99, and of course on sale for $14.99. And then the premium version, which is this one here, that is $22.99, on sale for $21.99. So with the premium, what you get is you get the hydraulic brakes, but you get the mid-drive motor. All right. So I wanted the mid-drive motor. That's why this bike costs a little bit more money. So what else do we have here? Well, the basket, as I mentioned, is an option. It's an $89 option. I feel you should just go ahead and get one. Yeah, if you're gonna have a bike like this, get a basket, okay? They also have a rear basket option. It's like $99. You can put it on the rear rack, but I just needed the front basket. So what else is interesting about this bike? Well, it's 48 volts. 15 amp hour battery. It's integrated into the down tube right there. It is a step through design, okay? a 30 pound payload capacity. So 330 pounds handles me no problem. Maximum top speed of 25 miles an hour. The handlebars is a swept back type style. So it's not a flat handlebar, it's swept back. Makes it a little bit easier to ride more vertically as you're sitting upright. They claim a 55-mile maximum range for the battery if you're in perfect ideal conditions. The premium is also a torque sensor. All right, so the other two versions are cadence sensor bikes. This is a torque sensor bike, and of course you got hydraulic brakes on here too. And the battery is UL certified. So I know a lot of people have been asking whether my bikes that I have are UL certified. The Himiways are, yeah. So that's kind of nice. So overall, what is that mid-drive motor going to do for us? Well, it's got 120 Newton meters of torque. So if you're pedaling and you're going up a hill, you're not going to have any problems going up the hill. All right. You do have to get a little bit more used to riding this type of bike because you do have to shift. Okay, now you notice that typically for me, I don't do a whole lot of shifting because I'm usually throttling. You could throttle, sure. You do have a left-handed throttle here, but if you're pedaling, yeah, you're going to have to learn how to shift. So as you approach a hill, you know, you may want to drop the gears down to your lower gears as you're pedaling up, and then move your gears up as you're going higher. So yeah, we're going to test that all out. Today is kind of a almost about ready to rain type of day. So I decided I'm going to do this overview first, and then on another day when it's not so rainy, I'm going to take it out on a ride. I have ridden this already, all right? Obviously I needed to ride it to get here, and yeah, I did pretty well with the mid-drive. I didn't have any problems at all. It does take a little getting used to if you're shifting the gears and riding. You want to be careful. You don't want to strip out the gears. So yeah, you have to be a little more careful, that's for sure. But having the ability to go up the hill without any problems at all is a big plus for those who live in hilly areas. So all right, anyways, that's the overview of the bike. Oh, the color of this bike. This one is called Ocean Blue. They also have a Himi Gray, and they have a Pearl White. But yeah, I wanted some color, so yeah, this one is Ocean Blue. All right, let's go ahead and take this bike out. Let's give it a try. I'm gonna do this ride on another day. I do feel drizzle hitting me now, so I'm just gonna head home. But by the time you see this on the second half of this review, yeah, we'll be riding, but it'll be a second day. All right, we're doing the riding section of this review. Now the interesting thing is, it does take a little bit of practice of getting used to riding a mid-drive bike. The interesting part is that, you know, even if you're coasting and you take a look at your chain ring area, you'll see that the chain is still moving, and that's because that's what's driving your bike. The chain is essentially running to move your wheels. So as you coast, that thing still moves. Yeah. So you've got to shift. Okay. So you've got to shift when you're going pedaling, or even when you're throttling. You should be shifting because your chain is still moving around there and driving that bike. So the key to remember on riding the mid-drive bikes is that as you approach a stop sign, okay, and you plan to stop, you should be shifting down, okay? Shift down because you're gonna end up shifting up again. All right, so we're gonna get moving here. So as you're moving, you can shift up again. And you wanna kind of let up a little bit in your pedaling as you do that shift. You don't want to be grinding the gears in the back. Now this is kind of foreign to many of us that are, let's take a ride over here, that are used to geared hub motors, because a lot of times we can just throttle the entire time, never even move that shifter, which is basically what I typically do. So I'm learning all over again that I need to learn to shift. Okay, and this is a torque sensor on here. So the harder you pedal, the faster that motor is going to run. But again, as you know, in the past, on some other torque sensor bikes that I've had difficulties running it because I had no throttle with those bikes. You know, class 1 with the torque sensor is kind of hard for me. But I do have a throttle here. What's going on here? We've got a lot of cars here. Oh, there's somebody's got a garage sale going on, so everyone's all lined up here. We'll get through this first and then I'll talk a little bit more. Make sure we're safe as we get by all these cars. Make sure no one's pulling out while we're crossing over. Oh, there you go. They have a lot of cars. A lot of people going to that garage sale. All right, there was one more thing that I did do during my break. As you know, it started drizzling when I was doing the review of the bike. I moved this. Now, if you notice, there's a little bit more gap here on my left-hand side. I felt that the pedal assist buttons were a little too close to the thumb throttle. It kind of jammed my thumb further back, and I like to have a little more space there. So I moved it forward on the handlebar, which is fine. It's not a problem. But I made that modification just so that you know. Now, a couple of other things to note too as we're riding here. There are no bosses for a water bottle on this bike. So I think if you get the front basket, just like I typically always do, I haven't done it yet here, is I usually will zip tie a bottle cage to the front basket. Yeah, since the throttle's on my left-hand side, I will probably put it on the right-hand side of the basket. That way I can always grab it, throttle, and continue moving while I'm drinking my water. So that'll be something I will add a little later. So how does it feel? Well, I will tell you, depending on how fast you're planning on going, it feels like any other bike, really. I mean, the mid-drive, if you don't do it right, if you don't shift correctly, I'm going to stop here because this guy is moving forward. If you don't shift properly, you'll hear it kind of skip a little bit on the gears on the back of your rear wheel, which kind of tells you you're not shifting right. you're not riding it correctly. So if you just ignore that and continue to ride, you will eventually strip out your cogs in the back, essentially. So you do need to be a little more careful with this. Now, I'm going to be heading us towards the hill test where I always test to see how the bikes go over the hill. I'm kind of debating about this one. I mean, I could throttle that to go up that hill, or I could pedal it. Now, all the other bikes have been throttled. I think the only fairway, you notice too that the light has kicked on. There's an automatic sensor. If it finds that it's too dark, the sensor will tell the light you got to turn on, and it automatically turns on for you. Part of the thing with the mid-drive, though, is the ability to just pedal right up that hill. I mean, we have 120 Newton meters of torque. That's the highest torque I have on any bike. So I want to kind of pedal it over that hill. But I think to be consistent, I think I will have to throttle it. Now, the interesting thing is, how do I throttle it with a mid-drive? Now, I mean, I can't just like fully depress this throttle and not do any shifting, because that's gonna affect the gears, because the motor will continue to keep running faster, and if you're on a too low of a gear, it's gonna affect it. So I'm gonna have to shift while I throttle. All right. Now that doesn't seem to me any problem at all on a hub motor. Yeah, I mean, you could leave that on 1, you could leave it on 7. It doesn't really make a difference when you're throttling, but that does make a difference on this bike. So yeah, we're gonna have to do some different things. I'm gonna have to be able to throttle to be fair to see how it does compared to all the other bikes that had throttled. And then I'm gonna have to shift it as I'm throttling it. Other than that, this bike actually is very smooth and quiet. Yeah, you hear a very soft whining of the motor, but man, you barely hear this motor. I think these have like 20, I think it's the 28-inch wheels. I have to confirm. I don't know how wide this thing is. What is that, 2-inch something? 2 something, I think. I have to confirm that too. If I find out, I'll put a graphic up. So yeah, we're not going too fast right now. I'm just kind of getting used to riding the bike. So again, if you hit the thing with your thumb, it downshifts. If you hit it with your trigger finger over here on the right hand side, it gears up. Okay. It takes a little time for me to get used to it because I have bikes that do it the opposite as well. So you got to know which kind of bike you're riding. Now most people won't have this problem because they usually only have a bike or two. I have a lot of bikes, as you know, because I do the reviews, and just remembering which one does what makes a difference. So I have to remember for this bike, index finger gears up, thumb gears down. All right. Now I'm not pedaling real hard. For some reason, my left knee is hurting a little bit today. I don't know what I did to it. I think since the bike to drive event, my knee has been hurting just a little bit. May have overdone it a little, maybe, I don't know. Let's move the pedal assist up a little bit. Now again, you still have 5 levels of pedal assist with the buttons over here. So if I put it on 5 and start pedaling harder, I can move up. All right, move a little quicker. Now I will tell you that the display screen on this Bafang display is very hard for me to see with my sunglasses on. I have polarized sunglasses. Now this is not the first that this has happened. As you know, several other bikes that I've had that come in recently have a problem seeing the display screen when you have a polarized sunglasses. Well, this display screen has the same problem. So I could barely see anything on it. Now, we found a fix around to that. Remember, we took, one of my subscribers figured it out. He took a piece of clear packing tape and we put, whoops, sorry, hit the bell. He put it across on the screen and that fixes the problem. Yeah, that's kind of weird, isn't it? It definitely fixes the problem. But I found that to do it properly, if you just go up and down, it doesn't do a thing. You go horizontal, it doesn't do a thing. I had to put it on a diagonal. And once I put it on a diagonal, I was able to see it with my sunglasses on. I'm gonna have to do that with this display screen as well. So right now, I have some difficulties reading it, which makes it tough when we do the hill test because on the hill test, I have to see what that speedometer says. So I'll be tilting my head a little bit to try to read it as we go up that hill test. But overall, how's the experience? Yeah, I'm finding it's not that difficult to do, but you do need to know that you will have to shift as you're going along. It's going to take me a while to get used to it, I'll tell you that, but I'm willing to put that time and effort in to learn to do this thing better. All right. So what else have I noticed? Okay, yeah, no water bottle cage here. Like I mentioned, you're gonna have to put that on yourself. Yeah, get a front basket. It allows you to do stuff like that. And then what I do is just zip tie that bottle cage holder to the side of the basket. I've done that to like almost all my bikes. Yeah, it's a common thing for me, so I don't mind it. Yeah, do that. You might want to get a front light on your handlebar. Look at the Himi Zone, okay? On Amazon, Himiway has a thing called Himi Zone, and they sell a number of different lights and rear tail lights. You could put that on. Now you might say, well, I have a front light, why should I do it? Well, because that light only turns on when it's dark. Now if you want to, like for me, I like having a blinking headlight when I'm riding in the daytime even. Go to Himi Zone, take a look at what they have. They have a number of different lights available. You put that on. They have tail lights too. Yeah, so you can do that as well. Now, like I mentioned, there is no brake light with this particular version of the bike. Now, if you buy the first and second version, you know, the basic and the upgraded version of it, you do get lights that work. It's just that because of the motor that's in here and the controller that's designed for that motor, it doesn't control that that headlight for you or the tail light. So there's no brake light, okay? It is a tail light, but it only turns on when it's dark. But there's no brake light, and there's no headlight on unless it gets dark. So I would look into a separate one that you can put on your handlebar. All right, so we're approaching the hill test. Now, how we do this typically, all right, so I'm gonna gear down. Just lower my gears down a little bit so that the motor's not spinning like crazy here. And we'll stop here, and then again, if there's somebody there, we'll have to abort. But so we essentially come to a dead stop here, which of course I'm not going to be totally dead stop, but that's about as close to dead stop as we're going to get. All right, so I'm going to throttle up now. So now you hear that thing shifted a little bit too hard there. All right, there's somebody there, so I'm going to hit him with the bell so that he knows to get out of the way. So I want to continue this test up here. Now I'm throttling 100% up. I'm tilting my head. We're at 17, 16.5. It's going to drop, of course. And we are going down. We're dropping, we're dropping, we're dropping, we're dropping. 8, 7.5, 7.1, 6.8, 6.8. 6.8 throttle only. All right, let's lower the gears here. I should really do that again under pedaling, but if you pedal, you probably will not have this kind of problem. Like I said, you have 120 Newton meters of torque to get over the top, but it wouldn't be fair for me to just pedal this and call it even with the other bikes. So if you throttled only, all right, yeah, you're down into 6 ranges. Good things to know, okay? But if you were pedaling, can you get over the top? Yeah, absolutely can, because you've got 120 Newton meters of torque at that point. Not worth doing now because it's not what we're planning on showing at this point. So yeah, this is a different type of bike for a different type of person. For someone who's looking for control, you know, let me put it this way. This is almost the equivalent, all right? This is almost the equivalent of someone who's driving a manual transmission car versus someone who drives an automatic transmission car, okay? This would be like the manual transmission. You gotta shift, yeah. Is it easier for the average person? No, I would say the mid-drive motor is a lot harder to work with, yeah. You know, on a hub drive motor, you don't have to even think about it. You just get up there and just ride, you know, throttle if you want, move it to whatever gear you want. Yeah, it's fine. So, are the other 2 versions better than this bike? I think for a beginner, someone who's just starting out, yeah, I think those would probably be better than this bike. For someone who's been riding for a while and says, I wanna shift, I wanna take control of how this bike moves, then yeah, you'll probably want to get the mid-drive. So how about me? I don't know. It's kind of torn on it. I understand the appeal of the mid-drive motor, especially if you have lots of hills. Like, you know, if you've got a lot of hills to have to climb and you plan to pedal it to get over those hills, yeah, I would want the mid-drive motor. All right. If you're on mostly flat land, would the mid-drive motor still be valid for you? maybe not so much. It would be a little bit more effort on your part to have to shift. It's the same thing as like, you know, like I said, like on a car, do I need to have a manual transmission car, or could I use an automatic transmission car? Well, most people probably say an automatic. Many people may not even know how to drive a manual transmission car. I've only done it a couple of times in my life, and I don't do very well with it. You need practice, right? You got to continually use it. But most of my cars have always been automatic, so you can kind of equate it that way. If you're that kind of person, then get a Rambler, an upgraded Rambler or the basic Rambler. Personally, I get that middle upgraded. I want those hydraulic brakes, okay? That makes a big difference, believe me. The pull is a lot easier to pull, and stopping power is a lot more powerful on a hydraulic brake, all right? So to me, no doubt, I would get the middle one. And again, if you are an advanced rider and you want to be able to have control and you have hills and everything, then, okay, I'm gonna make sure that I'm clear here. All right. If you're like that, where you're looking for some control, then yeah, consider the mid-drive. Granted, the mid-drive bike does cost quite a bit more money, but you know, we do it for the fun of it too, right? All right, go here. Let's make sure I don't get hit by any of the cars. There we go. We didn't get the crosswalk thing because I didn't get a chance to hit it before the light had already changed. So yeah, my first initial ride of the bike, yeah, I was clunking and clicking and everything all over the place. Which basically tells me, yeah, you're not riding the bike right. You're not shifting right. You're in the wrong gear. All right, so yeah, it does take a little bit of effort, but I think it's worth that effort. Yeah. So am I shifting always to mid-drive bikes going forward? No, I don't think so. I think it's nice to have when I want something different. It's the same reason like I had some other bikes that were single speed bikes, right? It was a single speed bike, belt drive, all that. Yeah, I mean, oh, look at all the deer. Ooh, there's a whole bunch of 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And they're gonna go because we're going forward, so they're running. We're scaring off the deer. There they go, they're going for a ride. They're running around. Yep, they're all hiding from me. It's okay, I'm not doing anything to you. There they go. That was fun. Okay, I don't want to be scaring off animals, but hey, I'm coming through. That was fun. That makes this review so much fun right there. Oh yeah, you gotta have fun when you're riding your bike. No, I've never seen that many deer all at one time out here. I mean, we know we have deer out here. I've run into them before, but not like that. All right, there's a lot of stuff we're running over here, popping and clicking all over the place. Let's gear down a little bit here. Yeah, don't pedal hard as you're working your gears. You don't wanna damage the gears. So we're gonna shift over there, move it up a gear, move it up a notch. Yeah, these clicking noises as you hear as they're doing it. I'm still learning the gears. And again, like I said, if you're throttling, yeah, you're gonna have to shift too. Yeah, definitely have to shift. Do you see all those deers looking at us first? They were deciding, what do we do? Is he coming forward at us? Do we need to run? What do we need to do? Oh yeah, that made my day right there. Now, these are the things that you have fun at. You know, if I didn't have an e-bike, I wouldn't have these types of experiences. I wouldn't be out here if I didn't have an e-bike. There would be no reason for me to come out here. You know, with my bad knee and leg, I wouldn't be walking through here. The only thing that brings me out to this is my e-bikes. That's the fun of having an e-bike. Everyone should get one. All right, what else have I noticed? Oh, I should probably show me riding, right? Okay, when we cross over to the other side, I'll pull out my Insta360 camera. You can see me riding. All right, now we're going up a hill here, so we could bring the gears down. All right, and pedal. Let me bring it down a little more. Let's see what it does. So yeah, I'm going up slowly, but yeah, I'm not suffering through it. I got enough power to pull me up. And we're not going too quick. All right, we made it up. I'm still learning. I'm still learning this. I think it's worth learning it though. So yeah, I would say if you're interested in a bike like this, you're probably one that's a little bit more advanced. Probably somebody who already has a bike, looking for something that's a little different. You know, something to add to an existing arsenal of bikes that you might have. Yeah, I would consider this mid-drive then. If you're new to it and you like the styling of the Rambler, which is actually really nice, quite frankly, it's you know, if you're looking for a commuter style bike, yeah, it's pretty good. Price is reasonable. Get the middle one, okay? I'm not saying don't get the basic, but you know, for a couple $100 more and you get your hydraulic brakes with it, get the middle one. Yeah. And then again, if you're really into it, kind of like me, and you want to get something different, yeah, then look at the mid-drive bike. Or if you're in the situation where you have lots of hills and it's a factor in your area, then you may want to immediately go right to the mid-drive. You just have to take a little bit of time to learn how to ride it properly. All right, we gotta pass through this section here. This is always the hardest thing to pass through because cars don't stop. They kind of keep going, and it's kind of fast too. But when we get over, I'll pull out the 360 camera and show you some footage of me riding once we have a clear path. All right, we are over. All right, let me get on to the main section of the road on this bike path, and then I'll show you what I look like when I'm riding the bike. All right, this is a little bit more challenging. My throttle's on my left hand, and of course I cannot shift because I'm holding the selfie stick for the Insta360. But this is what I basically look like while I'm riding the bike. Yeah. So it's an easy ride. It's not hard. Having fun on the trails. I want to show you too what the drivetrain looks like when you're throttling. Let me pull the camera here. Now you see that? I am throttling right now. And if you look at the chain is moving because that's what's pushing you. All right. So it's not a hub motor in the back where, you know, when you're, whoops. Let me wants to shift on me because I'm just throttling, but you see, it's actually giving you. Let me move back up here again. It was actually giving you the drive from the middle of the bike, right? That's where the motor is. So yeah, it takes a little bit of time to get used to it. Let me give you a little more side view here. Yeah, it's a nice day today. It's got a nice cool breeze. It's overcast, so there's no sun beating down on you. Too bad all the days aren't like this. Well, I guess it's coming up that way. All right, I think we have enough for this footage here. Let me pull this back in. Okay, so in conclusion, what do I think of this bike? It's a nice bike. It does take an effort to learn it. I think for me, with the knee that's not as strong, being a torque sensor bike, also a mid-drive bike, it's probably a little bit harder for me to ride, but I'm willing to make that effort to learn it. I think it's better for somebody who has probably had some experience on an e-bike before. Is willing to kind of learn. It's just like a person, like I said, with the car. You're willing to learn a manual transmission. Same thing here. If you're willing to learn it, this would be a good one to try out to do. What about the other models? Well, I haven't tested them, but I'm pretty sure they would be just fine. My recommendation would be to go for the middle model. Get the one with the hydraulic brakes, right? If you want a hub drive version of this bike. The bike itself is pretty easy to get on and off. It is a step-through design, easy to get in. The color looks really cool. I like it. You've got suspension front fork. You got hydraulic brakes. Yeah, what's not to like? So yeah, I would give it a high recommendation. Yep. I would give it a high recommendation. Now, I don't have any other mid-drive bikes to compare it against, but like I said, I'm having kind of a lot of fun with this mid-drive though. Yeah. Anyway, that's basically all I have for you guys today. Hey, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Go ahead and check out Himiway. I'll have affiliate links and everything in the description of my video if you're interested in purchasing one. Use that affiliate link to help me out. And then go over to the Himi Zone on Amazon. Take a look at accessories. They got a lot of accessories there, a lot, and the prices are pretty good too. Yeah. So anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. Appreciate it. Talk to you guys next time.